Hello, welcome, and welcome to painting time, I guess. I don't even know the name. There's always tentative titles that I have here. It's just a time that I paint, and I'm going to paint this panel today for its, what layer is it? 1, 2, 3, fourth layer out of 6. Yeah, 6 layers is going to be put on this. Woo! It's going to be looking nice. So I'm putting on my dark grays. And then after I finish that, call it a day, just call it a day. And we'll be moving on our merry way. I like to get a little bit of painting. How's that wet still? Anyways, I like to get a little bit of painting done every day. And I've been thinking about this. So I've been thinking, how can I bounce around? How can I bounce around on the social platforms, So I think I might start scheduling set times when I set days that I do to man, how can I share this to a group? Wow. There's more features here. So right now I'm just playing around with this. What's this? No? Anyways, so maybe I can do this. Let's try this, see what happens when I do this. Huh. Wow. That's something I need to think about. So, what I was doing is I was scrolling through the features because apparently, if you're in your business page, you can't share to a group, but on your personal page, you can share to a group. So I'm like, what is this new feature that I did not know? So it might be something for me to think about. But I've been thinking about hopping around and doing my live painting on more than just my business page. So I'm thinking about doing it on my personal page, on my Instagram, my Twitter, and maybe in the future I'll do it on YouTube. But right now I'm just going to be doing it on those few because I can't do it on YouTube. I can't live stream on YouTube anymore because I don't have enough followers. You got to have like 100 followers to live stream on YouTube. I used to do it, and then they're like, nope, can't do it anymore. You're not popular enough and it's not worth our bandwidth. And I was like, oh, thank you, YouTube. I'm not popular enough. I didn't know that was the case. I thought it was all about having everyone on equal turf here, but I'm not PewDiePie or whoever else is popular on there. So this is my 4th layer and I'm having a good time doing it. I think if anyone has been watching me while I've been doing these is I've been using one brush because I've been kind of lazy. So I decided to use only one brush when I paint at least these last few like panels. I've been working only with one brush. Mainly because I don't want to switch around and clean 2 brushes, but also because it seems to do the job good enough that I don't have to consider using another brush. So I'm just sticking with it. If it ain't broke, don't fix it type of thing, right? So, as I said earlier, I'm going to be hopping around on different social medias and doing live streams on all of them. I want to see how it works. I don't know if it's going to work out too well. Just going to test it out and see what happens, Just see what happens. Pretty excited about the day. Every day I try to get up in the morning and maintain a positive outlook on the day, and hope for the best. Hope nothing goes too awry. And just keep chugging along, For those that don't know, I actually do a lot more live streams on my business page, my Matt Pearson Art business page, than I do here, obviously, because it's the first time you've seen it. but I might have to maximize my visibility and consider using my personal page, because not everyone's likes my Matt Pearson art page. So I guess they figure they see all my artwork on my personal page, and that's not the case. Sometimes I get to it, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I get so busy that I'm not able to post on all my pages. So there is a lot of cross-pollination happening, but it's not always like I am able to get to every platform every day. But I try to hit every platform, and sometimes I'm a little more stingy. Sometimes I'll put special images on each, sometimes I won't. It depends. But for time's sake, it's not always easy to kind of do like the same images or different images on each platform. So I typically maintain the same type of content per platform. So, which is good, because some people don't follow me on Instagram, nor do they have an Instagram, or some people don't follow me on Twitter, and nor do they have a Twitter, and some people aren't here on Facebook, right? So we do that to kind of hedge our bets, essentially. I'm doing that to hedge my bet. I'm not saying we, I'm talking about me. There is no we in me. Me. So today, it's just going to be a super casual day. Just going to paint this panel and see how much time I have left. I have some things I got to do, but if I can paint this panel, get it going, I think I'll be good. I think I might want to share these to specific groups and see what happens. Maybe I could share them to multiple groups. What do you think? Because I don't know. I should just do it and see what happens. Have no fear. That's typically me, though. I don't really have a lot of fear as far as like doing wrong when it comes to like making art. I've been turned down so many times. It doesn't even matter anymore. So I just keep on working. Whether it's good work or bad work. It's mostly like in between, though. So I'm just using the same brush. I'm trying to maintain at least a quasi good curvilinear line here. I don't mind that it's imperfect. I just want it to look like it's not like I haven't had like 2 gallons of caffeine or coffee this morning. So if I can maintain that, I think I'm happy. I'll be pleased for the day. But I'm not too worried about it. It's just paint. It's just a painting. You don't have to. It's not like it's a big deal or anything. They're just paints. I'm not speaking about anything. This doesn't really have any like social commentary to it. They're just shapes and colors, and they're just like floating around in space, doing their thing. And that's what they're doing. They're just kind of hanging out. They're like, hey, Matt, I'm a floating shape. Oh, wow, you're a floating shape. How you do that? I don't know. Some person just put me here. Now I'm stuck. I'm talking in the voice of the shapes here. That's what they're doing. They're talking to me. Hey, you. Why are you painting me? That's a good question there, sir. Why aren't you painting yourself? I haven't done a self-portrait in a while. The thing is, do I really want to do one? Yuck. Do I want to look at my ugly mug and paint myself? Boring. I do enough portraits on the side that I don't need to be doing my own self-portrait. And it's not like doing my own self-portraits is like allowed me to be financially independent. So I'm not going to do self-portraits of myself because it's just not. It's not going to pay the bills. It's not going to pay the grocery budget. You know, it's not like no one's going to go out of the way like, you know what, you do a really good portrait of yourself. I like to have your face on my wall. Like, wow, you're right. You know. I like to have your face on my wall. I'm like, all right, you know, just not going to do it. So I choose not to paint myself. Probably should, though. It's good practice. But I think I'll get more out of practicing from drawing another person's face or painting another person's face who are willing to give me some sort of compensation for my time. So I'm getting hitting two birds with one stone. You know, I'm practicing and I'm able to buy groceries. You know, when I just do a self-portrait of myself, you know, I'm just practicing. That's all I'm doing, just practicing. So I'd rather. I hate to sound like I'm all about the Benjamins, but I'm not. I'm really not. I'm just more like. I'm just more practical. If you look at my art sales against other people, you'd be like, he's right. He's really not about the Benjamins, because it's not. It's like when you see how much I sell my art, you're like, don't quit your day job, Matt. I'm like, I know. I'm not going to quit my day job. Not anytime soon. I am not going to quit the day job. So I'm just going to keep on chugging. I hate sounding so like self-deprecating about my art, you know. But it's good to talk about it, you know, and think about it. It's good to think about it and talk about it. Think and talk. But it is what it is right now. And I can just be thankful that I'm able to do what I'm doing. And then maybe things will pan out later. Or maybe I just got to be better at marketing myself. I don't know. I just don't know. I don't have all the answers here. That's what I'm trying to get at. So I'm really excited. I'm really happy that I'm using this one brush because I don't know if you know this, but a lot of artists are like, you know, they can be kind of lazy. You know, they're like perpetually lazy. They're trying to go as fast as they can. So they're trying to do more work with less work. I mean, you think about it though, it makes sense, right? Because if you're spending hours and hours on one painting, you know, or thousands of hours, and it sells once, right? You got to make another painting that you got to spend hundreds of thousands of hours, not thousands, but like hundreds, maybe 100 hours on or something. I don't know. I know people that spend hundreds of hours on paintings, you know, and they only sell their paintings for a couple thousand, and if they spend 150 to 100 hours, right? They're making like minimum wage. That's crazy. That's a lot of work. That's a lot of labor hours. You know, so I'm just starting to think about this. I'm really I'm just digging these paintings. They're just so fun. So easy to do. Okay, correction. They're not easy to do. They're easy for me to do. Well, actually, probably anyone can do these if they want to, I guess. If you want to sit down but they're not challenging on my behalf, is what I'm trying to get. It's not like I'm like putting myself on the line here and really putting my my technical skills to the test here. It's more like here they are. I'm just gonna put some paint here and hope things pan out. But the reason why I like them is because they're not challenging to me. Because Not that I don't like challenging myself. I do that on my own on other things, right? But like, challenging means, I guess what challenging means is struggle and being in turmoil. And I don't like being in that state where I'm like upset. I was like, I don't want to be upset at my paintings. Paintings are supposed to be not necessarily my escape, but definitely I shouldn't feel like I'm working. You know, I shouldn't feel like my paintings are like I'm going to a 9 to 5 every day. You know, and right now these paintings feel less like I'm going to a 9 to 5. Like right now, if I had to work a 9 to 5, I could do this from 9 to 5. But other paintings, I'm like, ugh, gotta make this thing look like this thing that I'm looking at. I gotta make it look real, and I gotta add detail, and right? And it's so slow, you know. So I've been thinking about that. It's like, do I want to make work that looks like that appeals to me visually, which is was like those burger paintings, or do I just want to make paintings that don't really exert a level of stress on my behalf? So that's what I've been kind of doing lately, is these paintings, they don't flare up stress. And I think the stress that came from the work that I was working on was less to do about the work, but probably more to do with that I had a deadline. And I had a show I had to do, and the deadline was closing in, and I didn't see an end in sight on some of these paintings. And I learned a lot. I learned a lot about that, and I'm starting to think about, like, whenever I do paintings, whenever I'm going to do a painting like that, I'm going to plan it from beginning to end. I'm going to know what it's going to look like at the end. At least like 90% of it, I want to know what it looks like 90% of the time. I want to have a little bit of variance, but I want to have it all planned out. I would go on Photoshop and design the whole thing and then map it all out so that when I paint it, I won't have any problem being like, what do I do next? What do I do next? You know? With these, I can do the what do I do next thing because their scale is so small comparatively, and the acrylic dries so quickly, you know? And there's not really like detail, right? It's just painted layers on top of each other. So I can get away with it with asking what do I do next on these paintings because I'm not too worried about whether or not they're gonna like be successful. You know, the other ones there's like a visual component to it. Like you want the painting to look like the subject matter that you're working on. And you know, the question is, how much do you want the painting to look like the subject matter? Like, how real, how detailed do you want to go? And when I was doing that, I didn't have the answer because I didn't know how detailed I wanted to go. So I was kind of being detailed in some areas and being a little bit more suggestive in others. And it just kept moving on and on and on, you know? So I learned a lot in that situation. And if I ever have the opportunity to do that again, I know I could cut the painting time in half. And I'd love to do that again. I'd love to get back to figurative work. But right now, all I have the opportunity to do is these. And right now, when I do these, I feel like I'm having a lot of output. And it's really nice feeling like you're making a lot of work. You know, it feels nice being able to know that you're outputting a lot of volume, or at least a lot of volume for how much time I'm spending on it, right? I would be if I was doing this like a 9 to 5, my output would go through the roof. No joke. I'd be just cranking away. Perhaps maybe in the summer. Maybe in the summer I'll be able to produce more. I think once summer hits, I'll be working nonstop, at least until noon, or at least until maybe until 11. Maybe. I don't know. I don't have the answer. But I am excited by that. I'm also very excited about my I've been doing a lot of portrait drawing, and at a very, very, very affordable price. Don't get me wrong, you're like, anyone that's getting a portrait from me for that price, they're basically, I'm just giving it to them for free, essentially, because the amount of time that I'm spending on these portraits is, I'm like getting $. I'm literally getting $. Like, I'm spending, I'm $10, I'm spending 5 hours on them, at least. You're paying, I'm getting about $2 an hour on these portraits. And it can be longer, because sometimes each one takes a little bit, sometimes it just doesn't work out. Sometimes it takes a little longer, but I'm getting faster, and that's what I want to do. I want to be able to get faster and get better at those portraits, because apparently there's a lot of tricks to the trade that I don't know when it comes to digital portrait drawing. So that's one of the reasons why I'm doing these $10 portraits, is because it gives me the opportunity to learn and educate myself, and I get customers. I'm able to paint, to do what I like doing, and make someone happy in the end. So that's kind of nice. But they still take a long time, I guess the only catch with these portraits is that I can only do, like, there's such a long wait list. Like, there's a long line to get one. So when you order one, you're not going to get it the next day. You're going to get it a while from that time, especially now, because it just kind of snowballed. So every time I post a new one, more people get interested. And so I got to put them on the list. So that's kind of nice. I'm learning a lot. I'm really learning a lot doing this portrait drawing. And it's forcing me to go out and do some research and practice and improve. So every time someone hires me to do a new one, they're going to get a slightly better one than the previous portrait that I did, because I'm growing. I'm learning how to use the software. I'm also getting better in the process, because I like to kind of think about it a little bit and think about, what am I doing wrong? How can I improve a little bit? What things am I not tackling? So I'm doing like a deliberate practice. I'm doing deliberate practice when I get hired to do one of those commissions. And so that's kind of nice. And again, I'm really enjoying the process. Although I did have I did struggle on my last one. I was struggling the last one. I was like, man, I just can't get the skin to look good. Just couldn't. And because it was not just because it wasn't necessarily my ability as an artist. It was my lack of understanding for how skin works, how you paint skin on a program. Everyone's like, oh, you can translate it. To me, it just seems so weird. It's like, it translates easily. No, it doesn't. It just doesn't to me. Possibly because I'm overthinking it, Or maybe because the way that blending works on a tablet works differently and then in real life. I don't know. I know that tablets are hypersensitive. I'm going to flip this around. I want to get the curve right, and In order to do that, I want it higher up than it is. Ah, look at that. It's kind of, there's a little jumbly there, but that's okay. I don't mind that it's kind of like scumbled like that. Yeah. I don't know if I like. I might regret this because I don't know. Let's see here. Oh no! Oh no! I am kind of regretting it. It's okay. It's looking fine. I'm not too worried that it's kind of shaky. Again, it's going to be like it's the fourth layer. I got 2 more layers here. And even if it's kind of shaky, it's not going to like, none of this really matters. The goal is to kind of be slightly better than the day before, you know? And to some extent, I think I'm slightly better because I'm going a little bit quicker. And it might be because I changed I'm using a different brush that allows me to get the curvilinears there, the curvy lines in faster. Correction, I'm not using a different brush. I'm just using the same brush, but the same brush is doing the same thing, and it's doing it a little bit more effectively. So there's that. There's that. Almost done with this panel. It's going pretty smooth. I'm pretty impressed with myself here. What's kind of hard about doing these curvy lines is there's all these divots in like there's a lot of like paint that's kind of like mounded on top because we have a couple layers of paint underneath this already, and because there's all these layers, it's kind of like it's textured from the previous layer, and it makes it harder and harder to do cleaner lines because you have your brush kind of rolling over, cascading over these crevices, these little fissures. So that's one reason why I'm not too like upset about this. I also, if you look at some of these, you won't be able to see the paintings in this state because the quality of the video. But like, there's I show a lot of pencil marks that you don't see. You just don't see. You know, I tend to. I actually keep some of the history with my paintings, so I don't cover up every mark that shows how I constructed the painting. I just I leave it there as a like memento, I guess. And that's just something I learned at grad school. I don't know if that's what you should be doing. I just thought that it was kind of interesting to see parts of the structure, you know, that led up to the development of the painting. I always thought that was kind of a neat little visual tool to use with regards to painting. So we're making good time here. So I'm kind of happy about, which means I can kind of get to my other things, my other task at hand, and then I might even do another painting. I don't know. We'll see how much time I have left after the fact. I gotta do some prep work here. It might be worth it for me to do more live streams on my personal page on Facebook, because I can share it on my groups. That's interesting. And I'm not trying to say it's not worth it to post, but it's kind of selfish to do it on one feed. But you want to be everywhere, so that's why I'm always everywhere when I'm painting. I try not to waste my painting session, so I'm always recording it. So I think about 80 to 90% of all my painting sessions as of this year have been cataloged and recorded in some form or another, and then put on YouTube, which is kind of funny because it's funny because they're not edited. I don't edit any of it. So when it's just this long format painting session, and for the most part, up until recently when I never talked. It was just I'm gonna work. You can watch me. I don't care. I'm not gonna post this on YouTube. It's gonna be boring. And you can't have music, right? You can't have music because that's copyright law. So there goes fun. There goes some fun, right? You can't have any music playing in the background. No, they'll flag you, say you can't. You don't have the rights to play that music. I'm oh man, why not? So there's that. But I got pretty much a lot of my painting has been recorded, and I don't know what it's going to amount to. It's there, and I don't edit any of the videos because I don't have time to edit them. I'm not going to. It's going to take just as long for me to edit So basically, if I edit something, let's assume that I edit something every one of my videos, and it takes me the same amount of time to edit it that it does to actually make the video. So it takes me 50 minutes to make a video, or I'm recording for 50 minutes. It's going to take me another 50 minutes to edit it. And then, you wouldn't think it, but it takes, it could take an hour or two to upload a video, which means I can't touch my phone for an hour or two, because if I touch it, YouTube will say, hey, you can't stop the flow. You can't close out the YouTube app while you're uploading a video, because it's going to act like it's not uploaded anymore. So you got to leave the YouTube app open, and you got to have your phone open, and you can't have it the window closed. So you got to turn your you know how your phone automatically turns off? Well, if your phone automatically turns off, it's going to act like you're not uploading the video anymore. So it's going to stop uploading that video. And so you got to keep your phone screen on the whole time. You got to have your phone open the whole time for about an hour or two. Sometimes it takes longer. It depends on how much, how long your video is, how busy the servers are on YouTube. But you're looking at 5 hours of labor, or of kind of work, just to upload your video onto YouTube after you've done it. And I don't have time to be a producer and produce my own videos. I probably should, because I say some really dumb stuff, this stuff is dumb. Why am I talking? The only reason why I'm talking is because most people do not like the experience of watching someone paint just to paint. And you can't have music in the background, so why am I, it gets kind of boring, right? I mean, you would be hard pushed to watch Bob Ross paint without him talking about what he's doing and why he's doing it. He also has a very calming voice, but it'd be different. I'd be like, why is this guy with this afro just painting landscapes? What's he doing? Why is he doing this? Is it an afro? He's got curly hair, I know that. But yeah. That's why I talk. And most of it's just non sequitur jargon. It really doesn't mean anything. It's just like, bleh. I think yesterday I talked about how I like s'mores and how it makes me a happy camper. Which to people that don't know me would think would be really odd. But people that do know me are like, yeah, that's about right. That's about right. Yeah, makes sense. You know. And I went into this giant rant about food. I guess. Not even a rant. I just kept going in this giant loop about how much I want a hamburger. I don't think I haven't. When's the last time? I don't know when's the last time I've had a hamburger. That's the thing. I don't know when's the last time I've had a hamburger. So maybe I need to start. That's one thing I need to think about. Is when is the last time I've had a hamburger? It's been a couple months. It's been a minute. That is for sure. It's been quite a while. It's been quite a while. So we're just going to paint this happy curvy shape. This happy little shape. Just paint it. Get a little happy line. Happy curvy line. Uh-oh. I slipped. I'm slipping again. Oh no! So what I'm having now is this, since I'm using this brush for pretty much everything now, the bristles are starting to show. They're getting a little rough for wear, if you know what I'm saying. They're showing their age, and they're like the bristles are kind of splaying out left and right. And it's making it kind of hard. I've lost my vocab or my momentum with regards to talking. I don't really have anything to say anymore. I'm done. I'm done filibustering. I'm just focusing on getting this kind of finished so I can kind of move on for the day and just crank it away on this paintings. Not painting. Not paintings, painting. I'm doing one right now, but I have multiple paintings that I'm working on. I have 10, but I am working on one painting. So I don't really have I don't have a lot to kind of speak about at the moment. I'm just kind of focusing on the task at hand, hoping and trying to make sure that my lines are clean. And that's what I'm trying to do right now. Because the area here is a little bit more narrow than I'm used to, and I'm worried that I might slip. So because I'm worried that might occur, I am trying to be extra careful with the paintbrush here. There we go. It's looking good. And I can't be too I'm not going to be overly scrutinizing this layer. I don't even know if I'm going to overly scrutinize the last layer. If I'm thinking about it, I don't know if I'm going to be dwelling over it so much, because it might not be as large a component as I think it will be. Like, I think it's going to be very minute, because in my mind I'm thinking, if I'm using black paint for the last layer, I'm probably going to use it very sparingly. So I'm not going to have as big as shapes, which means it's not going to take as long to do. You know? All right, here we go. We're moving along, getting it done. Getting things done, that's what I always say. Cashing checks and breaking necks. Or is it breaking necks and cashing checks? I don't even know. Whatever that quote is. What makes it kind of hard to do these curved forms on the side, on the edge of the painting, is the brush starts to cascade off the side, and it can kind of shift the motion of where your bristles are going. So it's kind of, you got to be kind of mindful of that when you're moving them along. You know, just got to be mindful of it. All right, I think that's it. I don't want to keep stressing over this curve here, because I know I'm going to mess it up if I keep trying to go over it. So I'm just going to leave it like that and call it a day. Thank you very much for stopping by and watching this morning. I hope you have a great day, but I got to get going. Take care. Thanks for stopping by.